Hey, that's me, and you might be wondering how I got here. Look, I know it's cheesy, but I've always wanted to do that, so just let me have this one, okay? If you've been here for a while, you might know that I packed up my entire life and moved to London, temporarily downsizing to a small one-bedroom flat until I figure out what exactly I want to do next. Today, I want to take you on a little journey while I make over my sitting room. It's not really a paint the walls a bold colour and DIY a coffee table kind of makeover this time. Instead, I'm using what I already have, but I really wanted to tell you the story of the progression of my new sitting room from start to finish, because this story goes way back. So let's start at the beginning. February of 2020. Yes, the before times, the good times. In February, I made over this room for my nan. It's actually her apartment that I'm borrowing for a little while I figure things out. I painted the walls and I made the best of what I had with a very, very dark space, including that bright red couch that I actually hated with a fiery burning passion. I took the space from dusty and plain to a room that reflected my nan's unique taste. And although it wasn't my favourite room makeover I've ever done, looking back, I'm really proud that I did something to someone else's style instead of just my own, and I managed to use a lot of what we had to do so. That being said, the flat stayed empty for a lot of 2020 due to the big C, and it was used as a workplace instead, so it became pretty dusty. My allergies are playing up just looking at this footage, so when I was finally able to move my own furniture in, we had something that looked, well, just as bad, but with a lot more clutter. So, in today's video, my aim is to show you how I injected my own style to turn this flat from this, to this, to this, finally to this. So, let's get started with a much needed cleaning session.
Okay, time to clean. This was an absolute nightmare, but it's done. So let's move this, dust it off, and put it outside with the free sign on it. Because somewhere back here, we've got something else to go in that space instead.
You might remember this fireplace. It was my favourite part of the former makeover. I picked up the mantle for £15 in a charity shop and I hauled it up to London. My uncle kindly helped install it and the mirror above, and with that done I was able to prep, prime and paint the wood in this beautiful charcoal colour. I'm so happy I chose this colour because I think it really works. The room itself is quite dark, so had I put this on the walls I think it might have been a bit too much. Back to the present day, I did get a bit excited here and jumped ahead with the styling as I'd been dreaming about what to do with this fireplace since I packed my first box. So I replaced the mirror with one that I found in Dunelm in their summer sale for £27.50, and I also wanted to utilise the non-working fireplace somehow, so I ended up putting a ton of disco balls in it. Just wait till you see how this turns out at the end. All I can say is, put disco balls in your fireplace, you won't regret it. After that, I took some time to focus on getting my bedroom finished. I needed a place to sleep desperately. But when I did come back to the sitting room, it looked something like this. Better than what we had at the start, but definitely not yet finished. So first, I tackled the art situation above the sofa.
So I've got these two really big square frames. That one, I really like the print, but this one, not so much. I'm wondering if I can borrow this print that was from Unique. It's a Sophia Novosel print. I really like her work. I've got it all over my place. But I'm wondering if this might fit in the square. I feel bad cropping it, but I think it would look really cool next to the other one. When frames have these little latches that you just slide into place instead of like, that makes me very happy. Those look so good. I'm really happy with them. Now I just need to mount them on the wall.
With the prints up, things were finally coming together, but while I was borrowing this drill from my family, I decided it would be sensible to actually mount the mirror on the wall. You know, to be safe, I guess. After that, it was time to tackle the table in the corner.
So, oh, there's a fox! I was going to show you, he's gone. There he is. Oh, and a cat! I see more wildlife here than I ever did on the Isle of Wight. London, eh? Anyway, this corner is where I'm stuck right now. It just looks really cluttered and squished together, so I need to space out the furniture and organize the books in some kind of system that doesn't make me want to rip my hair out. There's also a screw up here somewhere from the whiteboard, so I think if I can move the table and center it, I could put something on the screw. So, let's move it! I've separated them by non-fiction and fiction. We have art, design, social issues, and this is fiction, and then some poetry. Is it aesthetic? Not really, but I don't really want to arrange it by rainbow colours because I will literally never find anything ever again, so it works.
Okay, we are finally on the home stretch, so here's a little styling montage just to finish this story up. And now, because we run out of usable filming light apparently at 11:30 AM in this flat during the winter months, here is a nighttime tour of how this whole place turned out. Been on a long journey together, myself and this sitting room, but I think this iteration of the space is by far my favourite. I love how I was able to use some of the not so exciting furniture that was already in the flat, like the table, and mix it with stuff that I already had. It definitely represents how I want to show my style at the moment, and I love that I was still able to mix in a few older antique pieces amongst my more modern things, like my disco ball fireplace. I think it represents my style really well. One last thing before I go, I want to show you how cozy this space is at night because I'm a sucker for mood lighting.
Let me show you what this place looks like with all the little lamps on instead.
Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for following along this journey with me. I've got a lot of bigger projects in the works for the rest of the flat, so if you haven't already, do subscribe. I've got the kitchen and the bathroom to do, and I can't wait to share them. And with that, I'll say happy decorating, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.